Imagine the safest place in the world, your home. You've locked the doors, turned off the lights, and drawn the curtains. You feel that the walls are protecting you from the chaos of the streets. But there is a rule that is older than architecture and law. Your home is a fortress only until you say the word, yes. The narrator, a journalist who has spent years collecting testimonies of encounters with BEK, black-eyed kids, claims that these entities are not ghosts. They are predators that use our social programming, our biological instinct to help children, as a lockpick. It all begins with the illusion of normalcy. The first documented case occurred in 1996 with a man named Brian Bethel. He was sitting in his car in a parking lot when two young boys approached him. They were wearing hoodies, their faces half hidden in the shadows. The narrator notes that every witness describes the same state, a sudden, paralyzing dread. This isn't the fear you feel when seeing a mugger. This is a biological alarm, as if your DNA recognizes these children as something that stood above us in the food chain millions of years ago. "Mister, we need help. Let us in the car. We need to go home to our mother." Their voices sounded monotonous, as if they were reading from a textbook they didn't like. Brian was already reaching for the door handle, his hand moving automatically, obeying the social norm. A child needs help. But at the last second, he looked them in the eyes, and his heart skipped a beat. In those eyes, there were no whites, no irises, only two bottomless pools of pure anthracite black. They didn't reflect the light of the street lamps. They absorbed it. The narrator describes it as the black hole effect in a skull. The moment the visual contact was made, the mask of politeness slipped from the children. "Let us in. You have to let us in. We can't come in unless you say yes." Their tone shifted to an aggressive command. The narrator explains this as the rule of invitation. These entities are metaphysical parasites. Their power is limited by your will. They cannot break a door. They cannot shatter a window. They need your permission, because permission is a voluntary transfer of rights to your space and your soul. But what happens if you say yes? The narrator recalls the story of a woman from Vermont who let two such children into her home during a snowstorm. She thought they were just freezing kids. As soon as they stepped over the threshold, the temperature in the house dropped 10 degrees. Electronics began to go haywire. The television switched to a channel of pure white noise, and the phone began to emit strange, guttural sounds. The children just stood in the hallway without taking off their coats. "We need to use the bathroom," one of them said, though he didn't even move. The woman felt her nose begin to bleed. Her cat, usually calm, suddenly began to hiss and scrambled under the sofa, where it later died of a ruptured heart. Black-eyed kids are a source of high-frequency radiation, or something else entirely incompatible with biological life. They leak death. The narrator describes how being in a room with them causes a digital decay of consciousness. You begin to forget your own name. Your memories turn gray, as if erased by a rubber. By the time this woman's husband returned home, the children were gone. But from that day on, their lives turned to ruins. Both developed rare forms of cancer. Their house burned down due to unexplained causes, and the surviving photos of their wedding turned pitch black, as if soaked in ink. Who are they? The narrator offers several theories. Some believe they are demonic entities that need a physical body as a vessel. Others believe they are hybrids created in secret laboratories that escaped and are now searching for genetic material. But the most terrifying theory says that black-eyed kids are us. But from a future where humanity has lost all emotion and is now trying to steal it from us through fear. They appear where a person feels most vulnerable. On night roads, in hotel rooms, at the doors of lonely houses. They are always in pairs. They always ask for something mundane. A glass of water, to call their parents, to get warm. Their weapon is your conscience. Just say the word. Say, "Come in." The story whispers in every encounter. The narrator warns. If you hear a knock on the door late at night, and through the window you see low silhouettes in hoods, do not look them in the eye. And no matter what they say, no matter how pitiful their voice, do not answer. Your politeness is their ticket into your reality. Today, thousands of people claim to have seen them. The police ignore these calls, writing them off as hallucinations or teenage pranks. But why then do all these witnesses later suffer from the same symptoms? Why do their pets flee and their technology fail? Superstitions are not just stories. They are survival rules written in the blood of those who decided to be a good person with the wrong entities. The black-eyed kids are still wandering in the twilight. They are waiting for the one who forgot the old wisdom. Never invite into your home that which has no reflection of light in its eyes. So when you hear a quiet, persistent tapping on the window tonight, and a thin, childish voice asks you to let them in because they are lost, just walk away. Do not ask, "Who's there?" Do not pull back the curtain, because if you see that bottomless blackness instead of eyes, you won't be able to just close the door. You will already be part of their game. And in this game, yes is the last word you will ever say in your life.